time, that's a good one. By the time I got around to writing those songs and making that record, I'd been in Nashville for a while, like almost 13 years. And I got there when I was 19, and I thought I would have I had a publishing deal within a year, and I thought I'd have a record deal within another one. And most of the other people that I knew did too, but it didn't work out that way. It was, when I got to town, which was November of 1974, I had a bunch of songs that I'd written in Texas before I came up, and I threw every one of them away. Because I got to Nashville and I saw what was going on and knew that was what I needed to do. I started from scratch. There's only a couple of those songs that were written in those first couple of years that I still play, because that's how that works. But hopefully you get better. But there are a couple. One is, my dad came through town just a few, I've been in Nashville maybe 6 months. And he was an air traffic controller, and the FAA had sent him to Minnesota to be retrained at UNIVAC as a data system specialist. They started computerizing air traffic control in the 70s, and they still largely use those tape-based computers that they put in the 70s, I hate to tell you. But, my dad helped write ARCS 3 and ARCS 4, which are the programs that are still basically used to control air traffic today. And but he had been up there, and he never took anything but a circuitous route between point A and point B once he got behind the wheel of a car. He liked to explore. So somehow they came to Tennessee, to Middle Tennessee from Minnesota by way of Arkansas. And and they were going to end up Texas eventually. So it's really fucked up. And he told me that they'd been to the Pea Ridge battlefield. And the Battle of Pea Ridge was early in 1861. And it was like one of the only battles fought in the West that early in the war. And the story there was about an ex-Texas Ranger who was commissioned a general officer and raised a regiment and marched to meet the rest of the Union forces. The rest of the Confederate forces against Union forces that were pretty thin on the ground, and trying to figure out how they were going to hold on to the Mississippi River around St. Louis and environs. And that was their plan. And it didn't work out well. And Ben McCullough lasted about 15 minutes into the Battle of Pea Ridge, and then he caught a mini ball in the head, and some people speculated it may have been one of his own men that pulled the trigger. So he told me all this whole story, and and then they took off, went home to Texas, and the next day I went to the library, because that's what you had to do in those days. And I spent the whole day in the library. And you don't have to do that now because you can go on the internet, and it's not as much work, but it's not necessarily faster because most of the stuff in the library is true. Not all of it. The internet, but so I spent a day in the library, and then I got this as historically accurate as I could, or I needed to. I knew even then, when I was 20, that you didn't have to be spot on historically accurate for the purposes of songwriting. In fact, sometimes it helps to just make shit up. But I wrote this, and I never would have written it without my dad. So this is for him wherever he is.